Hi gang, Joe here, also known as Full Right on the goaliecrease.net, and this video will be about my new glove and my old glove. Starting with the old glove, what you see here is a Vaughn T1000. I bought this glove between the graduation from high school and starting college in the summer of 1981. The glove was a great glove and is a great glove. Obviously it's very durable. Here we are in 2015. When this glove came out, though, it represented a watershed in goalie equipment. Before this glove came out, the only serious options that a goaltender had were either a Cooper GM12 or a Cooper GM21. I used both of those gloves and they were fine, but technologically speaking, they were certainly not very protective and they were also very heavy. When the T1000 came out by Vaughn, the glove was much lighter, using more foam, and it was much more protective, using more high-impact plastic, at least back at the time what we called high-impact plastic. So I've used this glove ever since that time up until now. A couple of things took place with the glove. Shortly after I bought it, goalies began to use an elastic band around their wrist to keep the glove tight to their wrist. I ended up finding a polyester band with an iron clip, and I've been using it ever since. I have found that with this particular clip and band, I'm able to get the glove very, very tight to my wrist, which is my preference. So I used the glove in that fashion all the way up until I stopped playing competitively in 1994. And then when I started playing again in April of 2013, I made a couple of changes to it, which were really more in the nature of repairs. The first was the boot lacing that went around the perimeter of the glove was frayed and worn out, so I replaced it with the blue cord you see here. The second change or repair was new nylon on the protector for the heel of the hand as well as the wrist cuff. I went to the fabric store, got what they call heavy grade nylon, restuffed the heel protector, sewed it over the old nylon and protection of the brown nylon that was here, sewed on the Vaughn label. The other change I made to it was the boot lace that used to make up the web was obviously very frayed, torn, and beat up. Pucks were getting through it, and I had seen on the board that fellas were now using a skate lace. So I gave that a shot using two 120-inch laces on the web, and that ended up with what you see here. I've really become a fan of the skate lace web. Pucks go in and they stay there. They don't come out. The other thing, though, about the glove is it began to fall apart and has fallen apart quite a lot. The interior of it is made out of a calf skin, and I'm not going to be able to show it to you here, but the calf skin is very much frayed, cracked, and torn. So the glove literally is falling apart from the inside out. To get a new glove, I put a note on the board, and a lot of fellas suggested either CCM, Bauer, Vaughn, even a couple other brands with which I was unfamiliar. So I tried on the CCMs, tried on the Bauers, tried on the Vaughns, and I just didn't like them. They seemed to me to be very, very difficult to break in. I know there's a lot of notes on the board about break-in time and different techniques to do that, and they just didn't feel very comfortable on my hand. Passot made an announcement on the board sometime in the early winter of 2014 about a 60-degree glove coming along. So I reached out to goalie Timmy in December of 2014, and Timmy walked me through the process, and I placed the order for the Passot 60-degree glove in early January of 2015. And that glove arrived the day before yesterday. And this is what you see here. A couple things are really remarkable about the glove. First off, insofar as its weight, the Passot glove weighs less than 2 pounds. It is very, very light. The Vaughn glove, on the other hand, pardon the pun, weighs just under 5 pounds. The other thing about the glove from Passot that I like very, very much is the level of protection to it. The finger channel on the thumb for the outside aspect is extremely long and is extremely well protected. There is a high-grade impact plastic as well as some foam on the inside of it. The finger channels on the outside are likewise protected by a similar type of foam and similar type of plastic. The finger channels on this glove, including the thumb channel, fit me perfectly. I didn't send any pictures of my forearm, wrist, hand, or fingers, or any measurements of those parts of me to Paso, but the pinky channel, the ring finger channel, middle finger channel, pointing finger channel, and thumb channel are perfect. My fingers are snug in it. It feels great. The wrist cuff obviously is much larger and much more beefy than the Vaughn. And the thumb protection on the inside goes from the tip of the thumb all the way across to the base of the glove closest to the pinky part of my hand. The protection on it, I'm sure, is going to be excellent. A couple things about the glove that I think are relevant to its protection, as well as one of the reasons why I liked it. I didn't go with a game palm, a practice palm. I just simply went with the garden variety palm that Paso offers. In working with goalie Timmy, I explained to him that the less break-in period, the better, especially since I play only once or twice a week, as well as the fact that I'm just used to experiencing a stinger. In my time, we just lived with it, and at this point in my life where I'm playing so rarely, it really doesn't bother me if I catch a couple of stingers that much. So we went with that particular type of palm, and I've had this glove for 2 days now, and it is amazing how much I am able to open and close it with so little effort. The glove is much further broken in than any other glove that I could possibly imagine. The Vaughn glove took about a good 3 or 4 months of playing 4 or 5 times a week to get it comfortable, contoured to my hand, and otherwise softened up. This particular glove, I am sure, is going to be very, very comfortable inside of a couple of skates. The other thing in working with goalie Timmy that was very, very helpful was its strapping system. This glove actually has, and hopefully you fellas can get a good look at it, has 3 straps. And again, this was based upon Timmy's really kind help and very, very helpful suggestions. The first strap goes just below my knuckles across the top of my hand. The second strap goes just below my wrist on my hand. The third strap goes on my forearm below the wrist and Velcros like that. With these 3 straps Velcroed up, this glove is not going anywhere. It feels like a piece of my arm. It feels like part of my hand. A big thing for me was that. I don't like a glove that rotates. I like it to be very, very tight and very, very snug to my hand, and this certainly does the job. The outside protection simply Velcros over the top. With regard to another design feature of the Paso 60-degree glove that really caught my eye was its cutaway cuff. And hopefully you guys are, again, getting a good look at this. Even though I don't do, or just simply I'm not comfortable with the fingers up position that a lot of goaltenders use, goalies with much better gloves than mine, for example, such as Hills, Imperative, HSD, Art, Hippo. I do tend to keep my glove out to the side, but I also have my wrist cocked. Hopefully in the video you're able to see the extent to which I have my wrist bent. So with the cuff cut away, I already have much more range of motion to put my wrist, my catching hand, in the position that it's used to. So with these features, in terms of how it probably will play, I'm really looking forward to using it. A couple things about the design of the glove. It probably looks a little bit like a color nightmare. Well, one of the advantages about being my age is I don't have to worry about matching up with uniforms anymore. And I know on the board there was a little bit of discussion about what type of glove I would get between IB and Joey, and Joey was right on top of it. I was going to go with leather, but my preference for leather is sort of a blonde hue or colored leather, and Paso was only able to get the darker leather. So when goalie Timmy was shooting me tons of pictures of the different leather and we decided not to go with leather, that sort of turned my imagination loose on the color schemes that are on the website of Paso. And obviously we went out there a little bit. The design of it is the Stoltz design with the diamond or square type stitching. The base color is stainless steel. The cuff is obviously orange with stainless steel on the outside mixed in with some white foam and nylon. By the way, this white foam and nylon I am sure is going to aid with drying time. Went with the double T, which is in DC blue, and the base of the T is in white. The cording is orange. So there you have it. Really looking forward to using this glove. I think it's going to be a fantastic glove, and again, it's remarkable to me how easily this thing opens and closes, and I'm using minimal finger and thumb exertion to do that. Another thing that I think is going to be very enjoyable about this glove, after the glove arrived, I went down in the basement, put my blocker on, grabbed the stick, and began to shoot some pucks around in the basement, just a plain cement floor. And with this glove, with its softness, I'm going to be able to clear a puck the way I'm used to clearing a puck. And that is blocker up at the top of the knob, the shoulders of the stick inside the glove. I was able to move pucks around in the basement with minimal difficulty, given that this is a new glove. And I'm sure once it gets sweated up a little bit and contoured to my hand a little bit more, it'll be just fine. In other words, I don't believe I'm going to have to learn how to use the Turco grip to clear pucks. And for an old guy like me, that is a big thing. A couple things about Passot that I really need to pass on to you fellas. Goalie Timmy was extremely helpful, extremely kind, and very patient. His service and the way in which he walked me through the process was first rate. Passot makes its equipment custom made or bespoke, to use Timmy's term. And what that basically means for the customer who's never gone through that process is there are a lot of options and a lot of modifications you can make to a given piece of equipment. The amount of choices can be a little bit overwhelming, but Timmy was able to walk me through the process, steer me in the right direction, and help me come to what you see here. Likewise, Natalie and Sarah at the office were extremely helpful, keeping me up to date on the progress of the glove. And as you fellas probably know from the board, I put a note on the board about Mr. Hugo calling me about 10 days ago, explaining about a material shortage, but saying that if I wanted to go with a lesser grade material, they would use it, and whenever it degraded or broke down, no matter when that was, they would fix or otherwise repair it. I told him to simply go with the Gen Pro that he had on hand, but the fact that Mr. Hugo, who I gotta believe is way up on the management chain at Passot, for him to reach out and give me a call when they know that I'm most likely going to be making my last major purchase of goalie equipment from them, I was blown away by that. He went out of his way to almost make me feel like I was in the NHL, Fleury perhaps, and he was trying to give me the same level of service that he gives to the big boys. So that was very, very impressive. Another thing I should tell you guys is that I made a mistake on the order sheet and went with a nylon cord for the webbing. Big mistake. I called Timmy about it after the glove arrived, not realizing that I didn't ask for a skate lace on the webbing. Timmy said, no problem, let me know what colors you want, ship the glove to me, and then we'll go ahead and relace it. So again, customer service wise, you can't go wrong with Passot. So there you have it, fellas. Got my new glove. Looking forward to using it this coming Friday and this coming Sunday. I apologize for the getup of this video. It's been one of those days that I'm in between appearances, so please disregard the monkey outfit you see me wearing. I'd much rather be in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. Thanks for checking it out, fellas. I hope this was helpful. I can't urge you enough. If you're looking to buy some equipment, you owe it to yourself to reach out to Passot. Thanks, guys. As always, look forward to seeing the videos of all you fellas doing your thing. It's a real inspiration.